author whom I've met on Instagram who's going to share her life story with us uh, in hopes of inspiring some people and getting the word out there about her books. So she's 31 years old. She's from Missouri. And you've got the floor. You can kind of introduce yourself because I don't know you all that well yet.
Okay. I'm 31. My name is Krista McDaniel. I'm from the Boot Hill, Kennett, Missouri, a little old town. Been here pretty much my whole life, besides the moving around from here and there to foster care as a child, but mainly here. Um, I know that I have been through my fair share of dealings in life. I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a bunch of people out there that's probably been through a lot worse than what I have. But my point in this isn't to have a competition. My point in this is to try to spread faith and hope in a way, try to inspire people to know that life really does suck. It does. But it doesn't have to forever. You have to kind of keep the faith that things could get better. Because if not, I mean, it's going to cause you to continue to have a horrible life if you don't have the belief in good things. So my
In
reason in
yourself, too.
writing.
If you don't believe in yourself, then you can't expect anybody else to. It's one of the most important things out there.
That's right. I've been writing since I was 10 years old, started with poetry, and I never ever took the step in trying to put it out there. I have tried public speaking, um, venues and stuff for me, but that's a really difficult thing to start doing. So I decided to do books. And my best way of communicating, really am not good at talking. Maybe it has a lot to do with my trauma, not ever being validated, always being invalidated, not listened to and not heard. Could be the reason why I don't communicate well. But when I write, I can write complete honesty. I can write everything exactly how it happened and look back at it and be like, I made it through that. I did that. That was my life. But you know what? Here I am. I have stories on here that have been on there for not even a whole day, and I've already made it to like rank 8 for one of my brand new ones, and I'm so proud of myself. It is one of those feelings that you only get for yourself, that nobody else can give you. It's one of them feelings that only you can give yourself.
Right. And you
Um,
have to like achieve something to get it, right? Like it's not something that's like easy to get. You've got to work
no,
your ass off for
yeah,
it. And
I'm
that's part of
telling you,
why
I've
it feels
spent
so good.
writing these books. I have spent about a month altogether, and it's one of those full-time jobs without getting paid. It really is, but you have to really be inspired and motivated, and it has to really, hit home for you, mean something. It has to be a what's that word I'm looking for?
From the heart, like real. It's got to mean something to you.
You just have to be able to let your words out.
We've got some people watching. So for everyone who's joining in, I'm going to catch you up to speed. We're doing a little bit of a chat here. She is a recovering addict and a author who wants to try and help inspire people with her life story. And we're having a little bit of a chat here to try and draw some attention to her books and maybe help someone out there. So you've got the floor again. But
Well,
I just the people that
I am
are here to
I
know.
am I have gotten a comment, look, and then this lady asked me, "How do you write like this?" I said, "It's not like it's that I know how to put my truth on paper. Different. I can feel those feelings over and over again every day. That pain, it sits in me. It constantly sits there. So it's something that you don't ever forget what it feels like."
Right.
And look, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. um, it's just so easy. It just comes so easily for me. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. It's a talent either you have or you don't.
Well, I'll
But
share a little bit
the main
about
point of it,
you or about myself with you really quick. I'm autistic, so I totally understand what you're saying because my words can be like my worst enemy sometimes, you know. When I start speaking and I don't think about what I'm saying, you know, it comes out terribly. But if I take the time to write it and calculate everything the way you're saying, it's like that piece of paper can be my best friend.
yep, yes.
Because,
You mean my best friend?
you
Look
know,
at this. That's all paper that has been written on. That is my joy right there.
but I didn't mean to cut you
I
off. I just wanted to share a little bit about
no,
myself too.
no.
So I
I love
relate.
to hear it. I love to hear it.
So tell me
I wrote,
about you and your life. You've
where
said
would
that
you
you
like
grew
me to
up in the
start?
foster system, wherever you'd like. It can go on as long as you
Uh,
want.
Well, I was born to
One.
unmarried parents. I'll start there. My father and my mother were not together. When I was born, before I was born, they split up. Okay. So I was kind of moved back and forth between mother and father. My mother was addicted to methamphetamines and crack. And my whole life growing up, it was a fighting battle that I watched her. I watched her fight. And that's the really sad thing about my story, really. It's one of those things where you repeat the cycle, but you don't intend to repeat the cycle and hurt people, but it's kind of just something that happens.
Right.
With not having a mother or a father, my father was also a crackhead. He was also an alcoholic, but a functioning alcoholic. Um, so that's what I was always substances is my life. That's all I know. My parents watching my parents go through it and me not understanding why can't have my parents because they're fighting their own battles and I'm sitting here having to be strong on my own without a mother and a father there to support me to show me how to be uh, a woman or an adult or how to be responsible. You know, I didn't never have that. I had to teach myself a lot of things because those foster homes, they make sure you're physically okay, kind of like when you're on drugs and you're taking care of your children. It's one of those things where they're physically taken care of, but the
Well,
emotional,
there are some good ones, but for the most part, a lot of these families just want to make money and don't really care to the kids' emotional needs and stuff, right? That's what I've
I
been
have been
hearing.
in.
The last interview I did was with somebody in a foster care system that had grown up, and uh,
Yeah, I've been in quite a few, and I can't say that there's only been one that I think that I actually felt safe like I was at home in a way. Only one. And she died a few years back, but I stayed in contact with her my whole life. She was my grandma. But my daddy, when he would feel like he's slipping or falling, he wouldn't let me watch him. He was one of those parents that he wouldn't put me through his own challenges, his own pain, his own suffering. So when he knew that something was bad in his life, he would take me, put me somewhere where he knew I was safe until he could get himself straight again. I respect him so much, even though he had his faults and his pain. I respect him for always making sure that I never had to witness his uh his traumatic experiences and his tough struggles in life because it showed me what kind of person he is positively. Instead of all the negative, I see nothing but positive. And the difference
now are
between
we
my mother and
talking
my
about your
father,
biological father or one of your foster
yes,
parents? Your
my
biological
my
father.
real father,
Okay.
yes. He passed away in a car accident when I was 10 years old back in 2004. He veered off the side of the road, struck a guardrail, ran into the path of oncoming traffic. The passenger side got hit by a truck going about 35, 40 miles an hour, and he had a lady in the passenger seat. And she was actually in so bad that it busted her open. She had to have closed casket funeral, and my daddy hit his head on the steering wheel, which killed him instantly. A helicopter couldn't help him. So at least maybe he wasn't in pain. But the hardest part about that story is my uncle told me that when my daddy did die, it was 12 o'clock in the morning. It was raining real hard. He had a teddy bear in his back seat along with some groceries. Don't know why I went grocery shopping that early in the morning, but hey, um, but knowing that when this was one of those situations where my daddy needed to save himself, so he tried to take me somewhere I'd be safe, except he chose my mother. And at that time, my mother was going through her own struggles. She was in one of her deepest addictions yet. He knew that I cried for her. He wanted to be a good father. He was slacking. All he knew what to do was to give me what I wanted, what I really wanted, and that was my mother at the time. So even though it was under bad judgment, he took me to her, dropped me off at the trailer park with her. That was the last I heard from him until he died. 3 months. I went 3 months after going my whole life without not having my father, not being able to speak to him, not knowing where he's at. I was always aware, always knowing. But when he dropped me off that day, I never talked to him or seen him again for 3 months until the day they showed up at the school telling me that he was dead, that he had died in a car accident. I tried to call him, kept getting voicemail,
So
tried to
he had
call and
been dead,
call.
and you didn't even know. You just found out after the fact at school one day. They
Yes.
came and got a hold of you. I can only imagine what that would be like to hear that as a 10-year-old. I mean, I don't even really know how to
I
respond other than to say I'm
I
very
felt,
sorry for your
I broke.
loss. And
He's my best friend. I've never had anybody show me the love that he showed me. The trust that I had in him that I will never have in anybody else. The love that he showed me, the tenderness, the care, the fact that I was his whole world, he made sure I knew that. I knew that. He didn't have to tell me. I knew that by the way he was taking care of me, by the way he treated me, the way he showed his love. I knew I was the most important thing in the world to him. And what's not fair in that situation, and I know it's not our choice in the matter, that God does what he plans to do, believe in or God decided to take him that day. But I needed him. My mama was disappearing on her drugs, leaving me at the trailer by myself for days at a time, making me fend for myself to eat, to clean a house. There was a little parent and would poop and stuff all over the place, and just a little girl that's barely 10 years old trying to care for herself, trying to take care of herself, which I was kind of already used to considering growing up. I pretty much had to figure everything out on my own. But my daddy, he was a good father. He made sure I was taken care of. Every time I was with him, I never had to worry about a thing. But every time I was with my mother, it was a different story. I've been in the car with her as she was doing drug deals. She would cover my eyes and deal the drugs over my lap through the other window. She'd go to motels and she would leave me out in the car for an hour or more while she's inside doing God knows what, getting high. And I don't even want to talk about what else she could have been doing, but just leaving me out in a car like that in a little drug infested motel place that
Like
is not
as a
safe
child,
for a little
right?
girl. Right. Right. You don't leave your child out in a car in a place like that.
No.
That is the you don't I would never. Even though I've done a lot of things, that's one thing I would have never done. Okay. But
So let's try
um
let's try and relate this to your books again because I want everyone to understand
I
how this is related. And when I edit this all down, I will take snippets of this and edit it together where it flows well. So let's talk about these
well,
books and how they're based off your real life and what it is you're trying to
mm,
teach people.
my most favorite and important one right now that people are really enjoying is The Intertwined, the story of us. This story right here, which I will try to show you
Okay.
right here on Wattpad,
Yep.
right here, The Story of Us, book one. This is going to be a series. And the first book, it's in progress, but I'm number 8 and I have a ribbon right now. It's only been on there for like not even a day. This is about my daughter's perspective, my oldest, her point of view from when she was born, from her getting to see my struggles, my pain, my trauma, the things that I went through, not understanding it at the time, but living through it like I did as a child. Um, it's in her voice and her perspective of watching her mother go through what she went through. That's that story. Now, there is all of them are memoirs, autobiographies. They're all true. True, true, true. Every single word in it is true. Now, the other one
Which
that
I
people
like.
are
I
really,
like that
really
it's true because a lot of the time I can't get behind fiction and stuff. It's got to like have meaning to me. So I do like
that's
that it
right.
is true. And
I'm
then,
gonna warn
we
you.
get to know you a little bit too. So it makes it even more interesting.
Uh, other book that I really, really like that's about my addiction is on Web Novel, the website Web Novel. And it is actually doing really, really well too. It's in progress of being contracted. Um, let's see here, my library. It is called The Devil You Let In. Okay.
All right. So tell me a
And
little bit
there
about that one because that's the one that you messaged me about that you were first talking about. And I want to hear about it.
here. The Devil You Let In.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll
I'm
put that all
going
on screen
to
later. So no worries.
let's see. Let's start. I'm gonna start by kind of explaining what the book is about. I think I have a pretty good description here. Um, the chapter one is getting to know the real intention. Okay, this is about the drug, how it traps you, the true feeling of what it makes you feel when you're doing it, even though you know that it's not good for you. You know the bad things that it's caused, and it's the only thing sometimes that can cause you or can bring you peace at that time of point moment. You don't think about really that you do love, you still care, you still try to be normal, but you don't realize how not normal it makes you. Okay. and
Well,
a
I
little
can relate
insert.
a little bit with alcohol because there are times where it's like you start drinking thinking that it's going to make you feel better. And then 2 hours later, you're just in a puddle of tears, crying your eyes out. And it's like, why did I even do this to myself? What was I expecting
Or
this to help? And it just makes it worse.
or you're in a bathtub throwing up over the side of the tub into a
Right. Yeah.
toilet for all
It's like
night long,
this
not being able
didn't
to get
make
no
my
sleep.
night any better. This has ruined my
It
night.
makes you
Why
feel
did I do this?
great. Right. Well, this is really grappling. Like it'll grasp you by your heart, by your brain, by your soul. Like it'll really get you to thinking. Like if you've never done this drug before, you'll know exactly what it does to you and how it makes you feel by reading this book.
Which
You will
drug are
know.
we talking about? Is that okay to ask?
If it's not inappropriate for me to say on here, it would be
It's a true
ice.
story. We're not promoting anything. We're talking about real life events, and we have freedom of speech, so
There,
we can talk about it. We're not promoting it.
there's there's different things. There are different names for it, but the main one is ice around here, but it's methamphetamines. Um, and it's a really intense substance. A little insert from chapter one to get you to understand it's getting to know the real intention. So the real intention of the drug is what that's meaning, what it really intends to do to you. You know, when they say it grabs a hold, they mean it engulfs you, your
Yeah.
body, your mind, your very sense of self. It brings grief, emotional devastation, instability, and show erosion of character. They call it man made, an object, a thing, but those who have felt its weight know the truth. To them, it was strategy, understanding, a way of life. The most dangerous substance to exist so openly, so normalized, when in reality, it should be feared. The first time, that was the fearless part. They say it only takes once, but I know better. It's the second, the third, when it tightens fully around your breathless throat. It doesn't take your name all at once. It returns again and again, dismantling your morals, your values, your identity, your body, your mind, slowly, patiently, not quickly. It drains the life from you while convincing you that you've finally found peace. It has a personality, repulsive and deceptive. Yes, it numbs the pain in that moment, but beneath the surface, it's dismantling everything that makes you, you. First, it steals your sleep, then your appetite. Then it begins to rewrite your reflection, your teeth, your face, your cheekbones, your breath, even your scent. It wants you broken, submissive, bowing to something it pretends to be but never was. The relief is temporary. The damage will always be permanent. Try to imagine it like this. Example, you're finally on your own, trying to stand independently for the first time. The fear of failure becomes unbearable, so you numb what doesn't serve you in that moment. You think you're surviving. You First, it takes your kids, then your family, then your friends, then your house, then your job, then your car. There's no warning label, no fine print. Wish there was. No notice that it will traumatize you for life, disfigure your body, and leave you grieving everything that you once were. First, it takes you, and then it takes everything and everyone you love. Now, that is a look into the first chapter of it. That's just the
No, that's
beginning of
really
its
good. I
story.
was about to say, I realized after you had started talking, it was an excerpt from the book, and that's a very, very uh, detailed description of what it does to you. And I just wanted to say, let's not pay any attention to any of these. Most of these comments are okay, but you always get a couple people in here that just want attention in the comments, and don't listen to them because what you're doing is you're trying to own something that's embarrassing and that people carry shame about and better the world for it. So, to our buddy down there that says this girl's still addicted, I don't know if you know this, but you never actually get over addictions like this. You simply
Nope.
make peace with it. You're going to be addicted for the rest of your life,
Yeah,
when you
it never
become
goes
clean.
away.
It never goes away. So, we're not paying attention to that. I hear your message, and you know, the other people
I'm
in
so
here that
sorry.
are
I do wanna say, I'm sorry he feels that way, and I respect his opinion, but I'm sorry to disagree. I didn't even notice till you said something, but everybody has their own opinion, so it's okay. Um, I do know that if I was still in my active addiction the way that I was, I definitely wouldn't be on this call right now.
Oh no, I
I
can
probably
tell that. I mean, you seem you're lucid. You're on the goal. Don't pay attention to that shit. I see another guy
I
down
know.
here who said something about benzo addictions, and I want to tap in on this for a little bit
Yeah.
because I've had quite a few friends pass away from benzo addictions, and it always starts with something like Xanax. Like they think that they can take
Oh,
Xanax and handle it, and then they end up shooting heroin, and then they're dead. And just don't ever touch it or think that you can handle it
mm,
because you can't. It's too powerful. It will consume you, and it's not just simple
yes.
fun. This is not a. These are not recreational drugs that you just do with some friends a couple
No.
times. These are things that steal your entire life from you. And I will give you the floor back, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to
Well,
add that.
you said still your entire life. It took my
Yeah,
kids, so
that's
I
even
can relate.
worse. That is more. That is literally, yes, stealing your entire life from you, and then you have to go on without it and figure out how to get it back. And I'm praying for you
That's
because I
probably
don't.
the hardest thing of all of it. You can heal from it, you can overcome it, but the pain that you've already caused, there's no fixing that. There's no taking that back. My daughter is still in the foster home she's been in for 2 years, and now that lady that's been taking care of her has guardianship of her. And the only way I'm gonna get her back, talk to her again, to touch her, see her, feel her, hold her, kiss her, hear her say, "Mommy." She's only 3 years old. I lost her when she was 1. Now see, I had hospital and went straight from the hospital to rehab with her so that way I could keep her with me, so that I wouldn't take her from me. I went a whole month in rehab with a newborn baby, breastfeeding, doing whatever it took. I was not leaving the hospital. Nobody was taking that baby from me, you know. But then life grabs a hold of you again. And you say that. But then months pass, something happens, something detrimental that you feel like you can't handle or that you can't fully process. So you try to numb that feeling before it overflows so much that it tears you into two. You don't want to feel that feeling again, considering you grew up being torn into two. So you try to avoid that feeling, is what it is. So you go and you lean on something that you think is going to make things better, but only for the moment. Because after about 2 or 3 hours of that substance coming out of your system, you're aggravated. You feel like crap. You have no energy. You sleep. You don't want to be around anybody. Um, some people are so bad on they literally you can see it all over their body.
Yeah.
Their face shrunken, their teeth all messed up, their eyes like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like it's just not cool. And we have all these people out here making it known, especially where I live. I don't know about where everybody else lives, but right here in this town, it is probably the top 10 most dangerous towns in the United States. Now I live in Kennett,
Because
Missouri.
of drug
It's called,
addiction among the
yeah,
population. Yeah.
yep, yes. It is one of the
Well, I'm
worst
in
top
Columbus,
10.
Ohio, so it's no what's the word? A walk in the park over here, but I don't know where you're at, but it could potentially be a little bit worse.
I mean, I can
But
walk the streets and feel safe like nothing's gonna happen to me, but that's only because I grew up on the streets. I grew up knowing these streets. I knew the people on these streets. I know my mom being a drug dealer, one of the biggest drug dealers in this town. She used to deal everybody's drugs. Everybody knows her, everybody knows her, everybody knows me. That's the difficult part. It's a small town, and just about everybody around here does something illegal or something they're not supposed to. Whether it's shooting guns, murdering, shooting, guns are bad right now. Then you've got the drugs, people with backpacks, bicycles, stealing copper wire, and I mean, just it's ridiculous. Like I want out of this town so bad, but
well,
it,
that's why we're
and
writing
that's what
these
I'm.
books, and that's why we're doing this
Yeah,
because here soon,
that's what I'm trying to
if you
do.
stay on the prize and you stay positive, and you keep this mindset, you will be successful, and you will get to travel around telling people about this stuff and hopefully inspiring people. I've already seen in the comments, we've got one guy who had said he's hooked on Kratom. So
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
already got addicts. We've already got addicts watching this. And
I was hooked on K2, which is pretty similar, and I can understand where that's very dangerous.
yeah,
Yes. Yes,
so
it's
that's good.
bad. I'm so sorry to hear that, and I really hope one day you find the strength to put it down, and I hope one day you find something or someone to give you that feeling that you're missing, that's making you do what you're doing. That's why you're doing it. There's something that you're missing in life that is and that kratom's filling that void that nothing or anyone else nothing can fill. But I
Right.
promise you, if you just look forward, I promise if you just look forward and you just know that today isn't gonna last forever. There is gonna be a tomorrow, there is gonna be a next year, and there is gonna, you know, decade. It's gonna happen. Today is not gonna last forever. You have to keep that mindset. Because if you go to dwell and suffer in that moment, the only thing you're gonna do is bring more suffering and pain into yourself, and which in return brings pain and suffering to the people around you. And I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how many people I pushed away because I chose to dwell in that broken little girl that I once was. I still choose to hold on to her because I feel like I'm the only person she's got. She's still here. The little girl that was invalidated, that wasn't cared for, that watched her parents grow up doing the same things that I'm doing now to my kids. I'm so disappointed in myself. I said I would never put my kids through what I went through with my parents. But when life gets you, you do not know where it's going to take you. And it only took that one time when my friends handed me a light bulb with a substance in it.
Talk about that.
And
Why did you do it when your parents did it? What made you think? Was it just so much pain in the moment that you like didn't care what happened next, or like explain it a little bit because
well,
I'm
I,
very intrigued.
I started having a lot of sex. I did a lot of different boyfriends and a lot of sexual relationships, and it kind of just moved from there. And I started smoking weed, and I started smoking Black and Miles. And when you start, you just keep going and going and going until you can just max out. So I was at a friend's house because my mother, we were living in Dexter after she got me out of foster care. I was about 17 years old. And she got out of prison, got me out of foster care. We moved to Dexter, Missouri. We got an apartment. She got all kinds of new rental furniture from Rent One. Everything was great. She had a good job. Okay. You know how fast that can change? Oh my goodness. One day I
Oh,
woke up,
things
there
can
was a
change in a second flat. And I'm going to share a little bit about myself again. The reason I've started this channel, or part of the reason, is I'm autistic and I tried to hide it my entire life and I carried a bunch of shame about it, right? And I've been trying to be open about it and own it and let people see some of the more intense emotions and the crying and just like the stuff that
we
you would
feel
hide.
deeper.
The stuff
We're
because
more intelligent.
when you try to fill that void with drugs or alcohol or vices, it will never fill. The only thing that can ever beat it is to be at peace with yourself and to love yourself and to be able to surrender to the moment and just accept that the now is now and to live in it and be happy with what you have, because it's very easy to focus on the things that we don't have or
Oh,
things from the past. But one of the other interviews I did, I've just done an interview with a guy that lives in Africa who still has to clean his water with a t-shirt every
oh
day.
my
Was trying to
goodness.
help him get some people to his GoFundMe because I feel like a lot of
Oh,
people here in America don't realize that we actually have it very good, very easy. Like, I don't want to discredit anything that we're talking about because drug addiction is like a whole nother monster in itself. But everyone has their own thing that they're struggling about. And even though we're different, I relate to a lot of what she's saying um, as well, just as a human that has my own story that I'm trying to tell. I appreciate us being able to talk. I love doing these things. And I'll give it back to you.
I
Sometimes I.
agree with that. With what you said, it ain't always about drugs. I was just recently in a situation where lights got cut off, not because of drugs, not because we were spending money on drugs, not because we were using drugs, not because just because life gets hard sometimes. I wrecked a vehicle back in July, I think, or yeah, and totaled it. Somebody hit me, totaled it. So it started with the vehicle. Then things
Yeah.
just started rolling downhill from there. Lost the vehicle, and then um, we had to struggle for the electric. Child support was kicking his butt, taking all his money, and we were struggling so bad that
Who is
the lights
his?
just got cut off.
Your boyfriend
My
or who?
my fiance, my
Okay.
fiance, yes. He's down there.
Okay.
Um, but we've been together almost 4 years now. Been through a lot, but, um, the electric getting shut off, you don't realize how important that is and how grateful you should be for this until
Yes,
you don't
that's what I
have
was
it.
saying about the interview with the guy in Africa. It's like, guys, there's a guy out there cleaning his water with a t-shirt today that can't even eat because he's got to take care of his siblings. Like, put it into perspective, realize what's important, which is our
Some
families and food over our head and our mental sanity and our health. That's it.
the world just seems so ungrateful sometimes. Not everybody in the world, not everybody, but there is so much hate, so much uncertainty, so much ungratefulness, so much selfishness in this world that I wish I could just change it with a snap of a finger. I want to bring good into the world. I want to make a positive change. And I know that sounds cheesy because I heard a lot of people say that before, but if I really could, I would do whatever I could to bring some kind of peace into this awful world that we call life. But really, I feel like it's us walking through hell just until we die to go to heaven. I really, and we're not going to get into that whole subject,
Someone said
but
that
that's
or
my
something
belief.
along the lines of that the other day, and I love that line.
Mhm. That is
It's
my
like it's
belief.
they
And I
don't get
want,
it sometimes. It's like I don't want to be negative and say that I'm walking through hell on earth every day, but like you guys don't understand autism either. Like it is actual hell on earth every day. And I try to smile and make funny videos and do these interviews to keep myself busy enough not to
mhm,
like get in those moods where I trip out, but it will still eventually manifest and there's nothing I can do about it other than just respond how I can respond and keep going.
mhm. I don't know really if I'm autistic, but I do have borderline personality disorder, from all the trauma that I endured, which is it is one of the most emotionally, uh, it's excruciating to live with. Excruciating. And
What is it
that's not
exactly?
even a
Is it
strong enough
it's
word.
kind of like bipolar in a sense where it's just like mood swings, like where it's like one day you're one thing and then the next day you're the
Mhm.
next or so I don't know what it
It's
is.
worse.
Let me shut up.
Way worse. Okay, borderline personality disorder is where you take every single thing to the extreme. A drop of the pen will make you bawl your eyes out. Why? Don't know. But something about that pen dropping cause you pain. And there's nothing you can do to take it away because it's in there. It's a physical feeling. It's not a thought. It comes as a thought, turns into a feeling. The feeling doesn't go away. You have to process it. If you do not process it, it will build up, build up, build up. It'll cause you to ruin relationships. It'll make you not trust people. It gives you trust issues. It gives you self-image issues. You mirror the people that you're around. You have a hard time understanding who you are as a person, who you truly are, because you're so used to living in the shadows that you kind of just camouflage yourself into whatever environment or situation you're in. So once you're used to doing that for so long, it becomes a normal for you. It just becomes who you are. So it's kind of like wearing a mask every day. Whoever
So
you're
it's
around, you're gonna.
actually very similar to autism. You're playing a
y-
character every minute of
Yep.
the day, small sounds and like minor disruptions to your time and like whatnot can set you off in a way that you can ruin a relationship of 5 years in 2 minutes with the response. Because I'm going to share a
Yeah.
little bit about myself again. I've
Okay.
just recently been fired and I'm,
Um,
going through a lot as well. And it was really because I had a little bit of a moment where I was crying at
mhm.
work and like I couldn't contain it. And
We're
I
not
ended up
allowed to do
getting
that
fired
though.
for it. And it's like the sad thing about a lot of these things is if you ever show it out, like if you show it in real life,
Hmm.
people run away. And it's like
All pity
it
party.
just
All
forces
pity
you to
party.
you feel even more shame about it because it's like, well, this is why I was hiding it because I don't want you guys to think I'm crazy. But like if I can't talk
Yes.
about it, it's gonna be much worse.
But
Right.
I
So
know I'm
I'm
crazy.
just saying, this is me. Listen,
Hmm.
if you don't like it,
Yep.
then you can choose a different YouTube channel to watch. And
Right.
that's that.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. Because you can't change who you are. You want to
Oh,
sometimes, but you need to just accept it and learn that this is the way God made me, this is the way I turned out. And you know what? I might have been through a whole bunch of shit in my life. I might have lost my father. I might have not had a parent, any parent there, a mother that was in and out of my life that was showing me things I shouldn't have seen as a child, looking through a bathroom, looking through the crack of a bathroom door, seeing her with her friend at 10 years old, lighting a spoon, not even supposed to see that kind of thing. Um, things that I just seen, her boyfriend breaking up with her, her not being there, him taking me to her room, going in her closet, bringing out a purse full of nothing but a whole bunch of needles, and me seeing that kind of things at 10 years old, telling me there's dope all in her blanket, don't get on her blanket, and then just leaving me there by myself like that. Like telling me these things and leaving me there, and my mom's nowhere to be found. With a sex offender living right next door in the next trailer, going over there, him rubbing on my legs, being real not okay. And me not really knowing how to handle situations. So me being so young, I just kind of, but I felt
Well, I don't
uncomfortable.
know if you know this, but like when young children go through stuff like that, it actually does damage to their brains, like real damage,
Oh
and
yeah.
not in a like, but like the pathways will not fire correctly, and
I feel
it
ill towards any
causes,
man I don't know.
yeah, it causes PTSD. It's probably hard for you to even talk to a random guy like this and trust that I've got good intentions, but I do. But I understand where that comes from. And even though I don't get the feeling myself, like I understand that it's a very real thing that people are out there dealing with, and that's why I'm
Parents
trying
should
to
have
help.
been
I'm talking
parents
to
should
people,
be
one, to
yeah.
understand it better myself, to make myself a better person, and two, to give people a voice because it's something that people hide from and that like stays in there and just adds up until it destroys you. And
Oh,
it's
it
much
does,
better
and
for
it
us to just be
will.
able to talk about it and just not worry what people are going to say and just accept it. It is us, and that there is no problem about it. And
Yeah.
it's in
I'm
the intention of being better. So let people say
I
what they
think
will.
I think a lot of times people don't communicate is because they feel
Here,
like they're
son.
being judged, or because they're being heard but not listened to, or feeling like the issues that are that important to them are not important to the other people they're trying to explain them to. Like, it is so detrimental to me, yet you're taking it as a grain of salt. No, you cannot do that. You've got to see it the way that I see it. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to understand where I'm coming from. It's going to make you angry. It's going to make you repel. It's going to make you not listen. It's going to make you feel like I'm giving a pity party, make feel sorry for me, and trying to uh, wallow in my pain and suffering. And that you need to let the past go. I'm so tired of hearing that phrase. You need to let the
Right.
past go. That no, no. Like, I don't agree with that because if it wasn't for the past and what happened, I would not be who I am today. I would not be the person that wants to help people, that has a good big heart. I'm not perfect by no means, but that means well in everything that she does. And it's because I look and say, what would my father think? He was a good man with a big heart. He wasn't perfect, but he never was ill towards anybody. He always gave everybody a fair dealing in life and in relationships with him. So I have always give people a chance. But it's really hard to do that when you've been raised up by yourself with nobody and everybody doing things to you to cause you to have trust issues. I was almost molested one time because my mother left me with some man while she went out with one of her friends. And he come in the bedroom, I was laying down and got on top of me and just felt like the whole building just collapsed on me. Like I couldn't breathe. I was screaming, kicking, yelling. Nobody was there to save me. Now, I just happened to be blessed enough that they walked in right before he was able to do anything to me that I can remember. But I remember the room. I remember the white walls, the double closets. I remember the day bed with the rails. I remember that it was just an empty room and it felt like we were the only people in the world and that was the end. I felt like that was going to be for me. I was not aware that I was going to make it the next day and he said, "If you ever tell anybody, I will kill you and your mother." Now, as a child, you take that seriously, so I didn't tell her for 4 more years until my pawpaw was on his deathbed from cancer. And I happened to tell her, and she said, "Well, I think I know who he is. And I think he might be in prison right now or dead." Well, no, I don't need you to think. I just need you to know because this is what I went through when you weren't aware. When you were gone doing what you were doing, this is what happened. Me and my mother still to this day butt heads because she doesn't understand why I can't let go what happened in the past, things that she put me
Well,
through,
see,
the,
I
the
don't like
trauma.
that phrase that you had said, like, or what did you say a second ago? Say the one that irritated you about let the
That you need to
past
let
go.
the past
Okay,
go.
let the past go. No, don't
Mm,
live in the past, but like the
right.
past is a very important part of our futures because it is the lessons and stuff that we need to learn to become better people. So while we don't want to live in the past, you cannot simply forget about the past either.
Nope.
You have
Like
to
like, take this
you
for
have to
example.
remember the past and use it to make yourself have a better future. So that's a
Now,
much
people
better
wouldn't
way of
say
saying that.
anything if you were using it in a positive way. Nobody would say anything if you were taking the past and using it in a positive way. But if you're dwelling on something that happened and you're hurting and you're crying and you have all this pain from something that happened. I carry pain every day. It never goes away. Now I have to force a smile. I have to force to laugh. I have to do these. Now, it is not easy and it is so exhausting and so tiring to try to be normal. But I want to hate everybody. I just sometimes want to be alone in the quiet with nobody. I enjoy the quiet, the peace and quiet with no sounds by myself. But I also enjoy having somebody there. But the thing is, you don't know what anybody's true intentions are. And you also ask yourself, do you really know who these people are? Do you really know them? You know, because people will finally show their true colors after they've gotten comfortable enough. And that is what sucks. That you get these relationships, you build these relationships, you get to know these people just to find out that's not the person who they
Well,
are.
okay, so I was actually making this mistake myself my entire life because what happens is I'll go through a relationship and I'm playing a character the whole time. I'm
Mhm.
masking, right? And then once I get to know the person, then I show them my true self, but then they get scared and run
Mhm.
away. And what I've
I
changed
warned
is
you.
now from moment one, you're going to see the real thing.
Yep.
And I'm not going to play games
Mm-mm.
pretending with people, trying to like play the character, because when we do get close and I show you the truth, you're gonna leave, and then I'm gonna be devastated
Oh
that
yeah,
I've lost someone that meant something to
they
me.
always
You,
do,
you might as
and they
well just
always
see it
do.
from moment one and accept you can't stand it the second you open my page and you see all the ridiculous comedy bits. Like, just let it be
Uh,
there. And if you can see past it and you want to get to know me as a person, great. But if we're not going to spend years forming some relationship and then me show you
no.
the real me and then you get scared and run away. That's not going to happen.
And see, also with what I have, the BPD, you have your favorite person, and if you don't have that person, if you lose that person, it is probably going to be one of the scariest, most confusing things in the world because you depend on that person to make you feel a certain way. A lot of the times, you depend on that
It
person,
sounds like a
literally.
much more intense version of like a lot of the autistic symptoms.
It's like I'm getting goosebumps again. Like
Yeah, like
it's just
it sounds like a more intense version of some of the worst parts of autism.
it's so hard to be around people with this, disorder, but it's also really hard to not be around people. So you can
Right.
love somebody like
Like a
you can be
double-edged paradox, right?
yeah.
Like I'm an extrovert that pushes everyone away.
You can be so deeply in love with somebody and say all these great things, and then 5 minutes later, you hate them. That you wish
Yeah,
they
you didn't text me back. What the
you hate them.
like yeah.
Yeah, that's all
No.
it takes. Or the tone in their voice, or the way they worded their text, or shoot, even the way they looked at somebody while you were out in public. Just little things, you catch everything, and you wanna know why? Because you're having to pay attention to everything, and you wanna know why? Because you were raised in an environment where you had
Where
to
you had to
always
see everything, right? Like to be
yeah,
safe. Yeah.
fight or flight, you had to always be on the lookout. I don't have a stand like you do, I'm sorry.
So that's what I'm
Um,
saying. Like, I don't even know that a lot of these, like, I don't even like getting hung up on the names of disorders sometimes because
mm-mm.
I feel like some of this is just the brain's natural response
Um,
to what we've been through. I mean, I can't say that autism was caused by something in my past, but like as far as like PTSD and some like cases of depression and just like other things go, it's like no, this is just the general. This is a expected response to people that have went through this stuff because
yep,
this is so traumatic that it has been
yeah,
proved that it changes the way that your brain works
and
because you've been raised in that environment
right,
now throughout your entire life. You're
mm,
going into things as if it's fight or flight and like looking for these little details that other people
yes,
aren't looking for, and it's not because you're crazy. It is
ugh,
because you have been in an absolutely insane situation.
neglected
Mhm.
and destroyed. You have been
Yes.
neglected, abandoned, destroyed, and not seen, not heard. It's like you were walking through life as a ghost only until somebody wanted to hurt you. Nobody ever had good intentions, but you were a ghost until somebody wanted to cause you pain. And then you were the spotlight. Like you were the one thing that they wanted to focus all their hate and anger on. They want to take it out on you. Why? Because you're already down. They say you kick you more when you're down, already down. That's very true. When somebody's already in their lowest, people will take advantage of that. People that don't understand. Now, This is the closest thing to a personality disorder. I don't think I have multiple personalities. I could, who knows? Because I go from country to ghetto to hip hop ones. I don't know. It changes, but
Well,
like
that's what
the
I'm saying. I don't know that like we should even get too hung up on that because I think what you're trying to tell me is that because you've experienced so much trauma that you respond to things a different way than other people. And it's
yeah,
much easier for you to just say that than to explain the entire thing in its entirety because it's going to be much
yeah.
easier for you to go look it up and say, oh, well, that's why she's responding to this that way because,
Yeah.
you know,
I have a very
it's the
hard
same as
time.
me with like saying I have autism. Like I don't like to say it out loud, but life has forced me to say it out loud because
Uh,
I pushed so many people away with the endless talking and the obsession on the details and the like
it
just
makes you
over the
not
top
want to talk no
energy and the
more.
whatnot. It's like, no, I need to just tell you from
Yeah.
moment one that it's gonna happen. And when you
Mhm.
start asking, well, what the hell's wrong with this guy? No, I already told you
Right. You
nothing
didn't
is wrong
listen.
with me. I go by Ian, and if you don't like me, then see yourself out the front door because I can't keep doing this. You know, like there are people out there that will like me, and
Like I'm
I don't
only as
want to
strong
change
as I can
myself.
be.
I like it,
Yeah.
right? It's the rest of the world that I don't fit into. I like being
I'm fine with that.
myself over here. You know, like
I I'm not.
it's about letting go of that idea that you're ever going to get the approval from the other people. And once you surrender wanting the approval and you just go for
Yeah.
it because it makes you happy, then the people
Yeah.
will see that energy and they will radiate towards you. It will just
Mhm.
happen naturally. When you put the right energy out there, the right energy is going to come back. When you put the wrong energy out there, the wrong energy is going to come back. And you simply living a life created by your own choices, right? So if you
It's
go
like
into
the
life
living
thinking
mirror.
everyone hates me and I'm going to mess this up today and I don't want to say anything, then you're going to mess
More than
everything up that
likely,
day. You're
you're
not going to say
going to.
anything and everyone's going to hate you. If you go into
Mhm.
the day saying, I'm going to destroy the day, I'm going to take it by storm, I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to make everyone laugh, then that's what's going to happen. So manifest your destiny.
I miss being that
Don't
person.
give into your mind.
I miss being you. I miss bringing light into any room that I walked into.
I thought that's what
Making
you were
people
doing.
I miss making people laugh. I miss watching people smile because of my ridiculousness or just because I enjoy bringing joy to people. But
Right.
but the darkness inside of me sometimes holds me back from that because
Well,
sometimes I feel like I'm already so tired from trying to get through the day that forcing myself to also please. I'm a very bad people pleaser. Forcing myself to try to make other people happy even though I'm not, it drains me. And I enjoy it. It makes me happy. It brings me a certain kind of peace knowing that even though I feel so much darkness inside of me, that I still have all this love that I want to give. But I feel like nobody is willing to take what I have to offer. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way.
no,
Like
I know that too. That's like how I feel. It's like I give all this love and this energy and this like positive stuff, but it never comes back. But that's
no.
because I'm different than everyone else and I'm expecting everyone else to respond the way I would. No, they're not going
Mhm.
to. 95% of
Yeah.
them are not like me.
We were trauma raised. We were taught by trauma. This is not our fault, but this is also not anything that we can truly control. It is just something we have to learn to accept. And once we learn to accept that part of ourselves, which I still haven't done that yet, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat like I have. Once you learn to accept that part of yourself, I know for a fact that things can be better. Because
Oh,
once
they
you learn to
will
find,
too. As
you got
soon
to
as
find
you
that
do,
love
it will.
that you,
As soon as you accept yourself and you go out there and you start making people laugh and doing everything you just told me that you miss about yourself, it will just deliver itself to you. I don't know how I'm getting all these followers. I'm getting these followers because I'm being real and people
yeah,
want to be real themselves because there are
yeah,
people
I'm
out there
surprising myself
wearing the
too.
mask
Yeah.
as well.
I don't want fame. I don't want fame. I don't want to be trending. I don't want to be a social media influencer. I want to make a difference. I want people to know my name and resonate my name with healing and inspiration and possibility and hope. Like I shouldn't even be here today. There are many, many times I should not have made it. Many, many times I should have probably perished. Um, but here I am standing still, and I don't know why. I've asked God multiple times, why? Why didn't you just take the pain away and just make it easy and just let me go? Please just let me go. I have tried to commit suicide recently. It was about 8 months ago. I overdosed on my prescription medication. I went into about 10 or 12 seizures, and the ambulance picked me up and took me to ICU for a couple days, where I don't remember. I blacked out. I don't remember anything. I could have been dead, and I wouldn't even known. But the other people that witnessed it, they are the ones still suffering through it, not me. I don't remember anything, but they remember watching me fall off the bed and seize on the floor and wondering if I was ever going to come to. And I'm getting goosebumps again. It's one of those
Okay.
things you don't plan it. A suicide, you don't plan it. I didn't. It was just kind of like a spur in the moment. Oh, I'm gonna take all these pills and see what happens because I just don't care. And that's what happened. I ended up spending 4
Well, I
days.
have a version of that in my life that's called driving down a road that's supposed to have deer on it at
Mm,
130 and filming the thing. And it's like, eventually you look at the video and you're like, okay, I know
yeah,
why this is recording. And it's
yeah.
not because I'm going to post it somewhere. It's in case I crash the car. And you have to stop doing stuff like that and accept it, right? Like you have to accept
Uh,
that it's happened, right? Like
I've
when
had to
you can
chew
pretend
myself
you can
out.
pretend you're just out for a drive, but
Yeah,
like I'm not
you
just out for
know,
a drive in those videos,
you
and
know.
we know what's happening here, and
Yeah.
it's very uh, hard to process, honestly. When I first kind of came to the realization that, like, oh my god, like how many times should I have died, like already,
I
and
don't know if it's
I
gonna
don't
happen
know why it's
again,
not
you
happening,
know?
right? Like,
I'm
what could
scared.
possibly be preventing this from happening? Because how do you make it through this many times?
I live
Uh,
in fear. I live in fear thinking it's gonna happen again because I'm
and
gonna get to that
then
point.
the other
I'm
thing,
scared.
it's almost not it's not like I'm suicidal. I'm the furthest thing from suicidal. I'm very,
I
very
wish I
happy with
wouldn't
my
wake
life
up,
right now.
but
But
I
it's
don't
like
wanna
in
kill
those
myself.
moments where you're doing something that's like literally risking your life, it's like you're in so much pain that for just like 15 seconds to
Mhm.
escape, even if it means you're driving 130 miles an hour down the highway, like risking everything.
Or
It's
doing
like for
drugs.
some reason you feel peace in that moment, knowing that like
Mhm.
because you're in control of what's happening, right? Like I've got
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'm in
My
control. Like don't tell me anything's gonna happen to me. I've got it. Like
Yeah. I was in a
and it's
situation like
stupid.
you.
And we're not doing anything like that. We're
Nope.
only talking about it to bring awareness. I'm not in any
It's
means telling
real.
anybody to get in
Like,
their car and do
I'm
something
I
stupid.
just
Please don't.
yeah. Please, I just want you to understand that we all don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. We don't know what our mind's gonna have us do from 1 minute to the next, especially if you've got physical brain damage from emotional trauma. That is a very real thing. It is very possible. I can go get a brain scan, and my brain is way different than a person that hasn't been through what I've been through. It is physically different. It has changed. And I cannot fix that. You cannot get surgery. You cannot take medications. You cannot do anything. You are who you are, and you have to learn how to be that person and be okay with it. I'm not okay
Well,
with it
I
yet.
am going to say one thing, and this is somewhat controversial, but I have heard that there are, in certain states, therapists that use mushrooms to try and help get people's brains to fire on different pathways.
Ketamine and
Because when it
ketamine.
does get to the point of brain
Mhm.
damage, the reason this works for some people with super intense PTSD or conditions like this is because it can make your brain, it can force your brain to fire on different pathways and reactivate things in your brain that have been long
Mhm.
destroyed by trauma, like to the point where you can't
Triggered.
even access them
Triggered.
anymore. So,
Yeah.
once again, I'm not talking about going out on the black market and buying mushrooms.
Mm-mm.
I'm talking about
Please.
there are therapists out there that will do
Google
this in a
therapist
controlled
and
set.
doctor remedies,
Yes, there
please.
there are there are legal versions of this that are studied
Mhm.
and that are common knowledge.
Like I said, they do ketamine treatments too. I'm really interested in that. But it's doctor approved, doctor uh Monitored, yes. It's a very because ketamine is not something that you should just play around with. But I heard it makes it's
Elon
kind of like
Musk is autistic and at one point in time was taking that to try and help deal with it, but this is not
yeah,
something I've ever looked into. No,
I have
we're not encouraging drug use at
no.
all, but we're not even paying attention to this
Mm-mm.
guy because his username's so ridiculous that I know he's just trying to stir the pot.
Oh my goodness.
So we're not
Okay,
looking at
so
that.
this is my meaning in being who I am because there are people out there that just don't take these kind of things seriously, and it eats me alive because this is more serious than people could ever imagine. This is our life. This is how we live. This is what we suffer through the pain that we feel, the irrevocable intensity of it. It's just never goes away. We are always trying to be normal. We're not just living. We are trying to live, but also taking everything we have every day to wake up, try to be normal, try to make it through the day, because that's enough for us is just to get through the day. That's a
A
lot.
job is a job, but imagine if you had a second full-time job, which was called I have to play a character the entire day or I'm going to lose
I gotta
everything.
wake up.
And
I
every
gotta wake up and
conversation that
live.
you were in for that entire day, you had to simply double. Just imagine the energy it takes a normal person to get the day through the day. Double it just for stock, because I'm pretending
Yep.
in every single conversation that I'm having right now. I'm actually able to be open, which is nice
I'm
because for
glad.
most of the day I have to fuck around and pretend and not, uh, you know. But
You shouldn't have to. You
yeah,
shouldn't have to
it's like an
pretend.
additional full-time job, the energy that it takes to, keep it together. Like, all these are all different things, but, like, it is very similar in the same sense that,
Now,
I'm
is it
sure you
possible to
understand what I'm
keep it
saying.
together? Is it really Because I'm telling you, I went to my daughter's play earlier, and the whole square of Kennett was full of people, and all I want to do is punch everybody that touch me. There was just too much going on. I'm not a hateful person, but a lot of stuff going on around you, and a lot of people. It had my anxiety so high that my chest was tight and my heart was pounding, and I was there for her. So I tried to suffer through it, but I did not want to be there. I
You're
just
talking
wanted
about being at the event you just got done at?
Yeah, the one that I was at for my daughter for her little Christmas concert she did, there was just so many people, and all I could think about was, "Look at all this. Look at this is not even a splitting beginning of the population." And every single person here, they have their own personality, their own way of life. They can look at you, bumping you, "I'm sorry," and then you got somebody to bump into you and be like, "Excuse you, watch where you're going." You've got those different kinds of people. Now that's where I am wrong because I take my anger and my irritation at that time and the situation, I take it out on everybody. Like, but people bumping into me, I'm like, I just gotta get the heck out of here. I gotta go. We gotta go. I can't believe I'm here. Well, you're doing it for your daughter. I know, but this is a lot. This is a lot. And I was just running. I was running to the car ready to go when she was done singing because it takes your breath. It's physical. It's like I said, it's not emotional. It's physical. It gives you a headache, makes you feel heavy here, like a boulder's there, and it makes you breathe fast, it makes your heart pound, and it's like you just wanna duck and hide in a little cubby hole and never come out. Is what how it makes you you're scared. You're in fear of being around anyone, anywhere, especially a lot. Um, I don't trust I don't trust anything anywhere at all, and that's one of my biggest flaws, one of my biggest issues in life. I don't know how to hand trust out. At all. I don't. I don't trust my kids even, and that's really sad to say. But I have a hard time being emotionally connected and bonding with them because of my past. It causes me to kinda push them away when they wanna sit on my lap or cuddle with me. I can only handle it for so long and then I'm pushing them away. And I realize it is just a defense mechanism from all the hurt that I've been through. I cannot foreshadow that hurt onto my children, but that's what I'm doing without intentionally meaning to. And they're sitting there feeling neglected, like I was, feeling abandoned, feeling unheard, feeling invalidated, which is one of the biggest words you'll ever hear me use, invalidation, because that is one of the most important. When your voice is not heard, when you are not when you are not seen or you're a shadow in the corner of a room all the time, it comes in handy because you get to see people for who they are and you get to see situations for what they are. I've s I've had a lot of paranoia with my disorder, thinking people were having conversations they weren't having, talking about me, looking at me, making faces at me, just that I was in a situation where they were against me. The whole world's against me. I feel like that some days. I don't trust anybody. I'm scared to death. Scared to
So
death.
my perspective as a male it's kind of different because I don't walk through life afraid, right? I'm 6'2". I don't really. I've never experienced anything like a lot of these things you're talking about. But as far as like the being completely overwhelmed by noises and stimuli and touching and this, that, and the other, that is all totally something that I deal with every day. And I get a lot of what you're saying, especially the like living as a shadow in the corner of the room thing. Cause I feel like what my reality is that like, um, I'm like one of the smartest people out there, but I present myself in such a ridiculous fashion that nobody will
That
listen to what I
nobody
have to
knows.
say. And that I just get cast over there in the corner and treated as if I'm
Yeah.
crazy when it's like, no, I'm actually the smartest person in
The
the entire
smartest one in
room.
the
And I
room.
figured this out 45 minutes ago. And if you
Yeah.
idiots would just shut up and let me tell you about it, then it would be
Yeah.
done and all the problems would be
Mhm.
solved. But you guys are
Like,
all
just
on about
listen.
nonsense right now. And it gets to the point where you become so overwhelmed that you
It's just
explode.
like,
And then you
whatever.
start saying things out loud that like cost you your position. And it's like, it would have been better to just sit over there in the corner as a shadow sometimes.
Just
But
keep your
no,
mouth
it's
shut.
not. I'm going to
No.
glow like a light in the middle of the room. And you're going to have to look at it because it's going to be bright
Yep.
as
Mhm.
hell. And
I
yeah.
like people to know I'm very intelligent. I am very
I
intelligent.
can tell you
And
are. I think it's very similar. It's like you have so much going on up there that it's
it's
overwhelming.
it's
A
just
lot of
makes me
these geniuses and stuff in the like a lot of people that become addicts are addicts because they are so intelligent that they can't turn their brains off. And then
no.
especially if something traumatic happened to them and you just cannot let it go. And you're like one of those people with like a high firing brain. It's like, what can I
It never
possibly do to
stops.
end the suffering right now? Like, and it's
Never.
like, it's called this. It's what we're doing right now, actually. It's not
Processing
drugs.
in a
It's
positive
not.
way, communicating, being able to relate and understand. That's all people want. You can listen to somebody all day long, but being able to understand them is a big difference. Listen, but you also listen to understand. Without the understanding, there's no reason to even listen because you're going through one ear and out the other. And what are you getting out of it? Nothing. All you're getting is somebody showing how selfish, self-centered, and non-empathetic they are. There's just so many people in this world have no empathy. I don't understand. Empathy comes naturally to me. I am an empath. I feel the emotions in the room. I feel the changes in the people's um, energies. I don't see colors or anything like that. Like, don't get all fancy on me, but um, it's there. It's real. What I feel is people may think it's silly, but it is so real to me. I uh I can tell when somebody's upset, even if they're smiling and trying to act like nothing's wrong. I know just by that one little word you say, just by that one little tone of voice you use, or just by that little twitch of that eye you gave me. I know because I have done and felt and been just about any freaking possible anywhere you could be or have went or I've been there, felt that. I have felt that. Any negative feeling that you could possibly think of, I have endured in some point or some way or another, somewhere in life. So I am I understand more. I get it. Uh, it's not it's not something to glow. I think that sometimes I may have autism too. I'm not 100% sure. I've
I
never been
mean,
tested,
honestly, like what you're
but
describing to me sounds like almost like either it overlaps quite a bit or it's very, very similar. It might like I said, it sounds to me like it's kind of just some of the worst parts of it, but like stronger, right? Because I normally
yes.
have a pretty good handle on myself to where
Mhm.
no one would ever know anything was going on. But like recently, there have been a few times where I get completely overwhelmed and start crying in public, or just
Mhm.
absolutely going off on somebody who matters to me, and ruining relationships. And it's the whole reason I'm trying to accept it, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell anybody that I'm retarded. I'm the furthest thing there
No.
is from retarded, but
That's
I
what
am
they think when they
autistic.
hear that though. That's what
Yeah,
they
but
think.
no, I know, but this is why I'm saying it because I'm not retarded, but I am
No.
autistic. And if you start
Mm-mm.
telling me fake times and touching my stuff and touching me,
Uh-uh.
making loud noises around me, I'm gonna flip out.
Mm-mm.
And there's nothing I can do about it, like other than to control
It's
my
gonna just
environment, right? So
yeah.
um, it has been an hour, so we're gonna wrap this
Oh,
up. Um,
okay.
Tell me about your books one last
Okay.
time for the end, and then um,
Okay.
as far as the rest of the video goes, this one will post to YouTube in its entirety. But I will edit some of the best parts from it down into like 3-minute reels for Instagram to try and get people to this video. And I'll repost it there with your handle and stuff on it.
My biggest desire from all of this is for these stories to reach the right community, the right people, not for me to be seen, not for me to be known, but for people to be able to relate and use it as a healing mechanism or as well, what am I a coping skill or people do journaling and do meditating and sometimes if you hear somebody else's story and you understand that maybe theirs is worse than yours or maybe that even if they went through what you went through, these stories, that's what they're for. They're for you to see that the pain that I endured, yes, and I still do, it's not over yet. Even though those bad things can happen, even though that kind of pain can be dealt on one person, even though that kind of suffering can live with you every day for the rest of your life, you have the choice. In yourself, in your head, you have the choice. Do you want it to control your life? Do you want that suffering to change uh, the possibilities for you? Or do you want to take control of that suffering and create your own possibilities? And I don't want to be famous, but I want to go down in history and be remembered as somebody who tried to make a difference, somebody
You
who
want
tried to
good
help.
things attached to your name, right? You don't want the bad things that you've done that you know you've done that you
Mhm.
feel the guilt about. You want to
I'll
be
tell
remembered for the
anybody.
good things that
I
you've
know I
done.
made yeah. I know
Yes.
I made mistakes. I cannot change them. I have endured what I endured and did what I did, and that's all I can say, but
It's like what I said to
now
the guy in the last interview I did. He started telling me like I'm not the world's best person. I just said, just stop there, buddy. I said if the police knew everything I did, I'd be in prison. Like we're not
yeah, I'm
perfect
surprised
human
I'm
beings,
not.
right? Like we're giving ourselves back to God and the spirit that is, or whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it, right? Like because to me,
Yep.
God is. I'm not going to get into all that, but yeah.
Uh, these okay. There are 2 sites, Wattpad and Web Novel. It's WATTPAD and WEBNOVEL. Those are where my books are.
And
This
yeah,
is the
just send
first
me the
one.
links and I'll put them on screen for people. So.
This is the first one. It's called Tales of a Broken
Or
Home.
you
That's the
can
one
just
for
tell me about them actually, and I'll edit it down and put them on screen
uh,
where it looks.
okay, let's see.
Yeah.
This is a memoir. This is a very traumatic, supposed to be inspiring memoir about my life. Supposed to tell every single traumatic thing that I've been through. Um, but the gist of it is, before my dad died, he had told me he used to say that life is a long hallway, and that people they come and go, as they pass outdoors. Some stay for a while, some just peek in, and some never enter at all. But they all leave their mark on us, and we on them. And when our own door finally opens, we'll look back and see a trail of people who we've loved and lost along the way. That is, it's not possible to, avoid. Every time someone leaves my life, I feel like I'm losing a part of myself. I've always had a hard time saying goodbye, holding on to moments and memories like they're a fragile piece of glass. But no matter how tightly I hold on, eventually they slip from my grasp and shatter into a million pieces. Maybe it's because of how I was born in the midst of a storm that tore my family apart. Maybe it's because my father left too soon and I'm scared that everyone else will too. All I know is that I'm afraid of endings, that I cling to beginnings like they're my lifeline, hoping that they'll stretch out forever, but they never do. And every time I'm faced with another goodbye, I feel like I'm losing a little piece of myself. I try to hold on to the memories, the feelings, the moments I never want to forget, but they always fade, leaving me with a bittersweet ache in my chest. I know that life is a constant cycle of beginnings and endings, and every ending is just a new beginning waiting to happen. But every ending doesn't make it any easier to let go, to say goodbye, to watch someone you love walk away from your life. This is that story. This is showing how you can still move forward alone. You don't need somebody to be there. You can do this. You can do this. You are
I felt
capable.
every word of that, by the way. I completely, completely get it.
I can't tell you how many times I've reread what I've wrote and I've
It's
cried.
honestly, you're making me
Bawled.
emotional over here, so you need to
I
stop.
I wanna cry. I wanna cry. Okay, so that's Tales of a Broken Home. It just explains how I was born to 2 parents that weren't together and how it was a broken home. Literally, like, no father, no mother, a child having to, uh figure things out on her own. A young child living from 1-year-old to 10 years old, back and forth, stranger here, stranger there, unfamiliar place here. You know, you have to figure things out. I don't know how to be a person. I don't know how to be a human or how to be an adult. I don't know how to be a mother. I don't know how to be a child. I don't know how to be a friend or a brother or a sister. I don't know how to be none of that. Why? I never had that to show me. Nobody's ever been there to show me how to be those things. So I'm sorry if I'm not perfect in that I don't do things the way that they're supposed to be done, but this is how I've had to teach myself. This is what this story is trying to tell you. Tales of a broken home. You may have to figure out things on your own, but in the end, you'll always become the person you were meant to be, regardless. And that is my meaning in that story. You will overcome. You will. I'm telling you, everything will end, good and bad. So, and the biggest one, like I said, the web novel, I have about 3 on there that I really, really like. I've gotten pretty far with. I don't know what logged me out. Hang on.
Well, I just want to say I
Um,
really, really, really like all the excerpts you've read so far, and I have very
well,
much enjoyed this conversation. So I'm
one more
sure we'll
book.
talk again soon, too.
I really want people to know that the system is uh, corrupt. How They Failed Us is another book that tells how I lost my kids and how they did me wrong, and I lost my kids for the wrong reasons instead of because I did something to deserve it. The system is corrupt. They are looking out for themselves, not for you. There's other people that's been through it, that's lost their kids, whose families have been torn apart for no reason other than they're doing their job and trying to get paid, and it's not fair. Families have been torn apart by these people. Kids have been separated and been torn apart from its siblings. Parents have went without their children. Why? Because these people want to get paid because they want to make themselves known or they want to be
Are we talking about the foster care system, people?
the state itself. Yes, the system in itself, it is corrupt. It's not the way that it should be. The people aren't there to help you the way that they're supposed to. They don't bring you together, they tear you apart. I've been through it, I've felt it, I've witnessed it, I'm going through it now. I don't have any of my kids. If it wasn't for my two oldest father, I wouldn't get to see them. I haven't seen my daughter Charlotte or even talked to her, touched her, anything in 4 or 5 months. I don't even get to talk to her on the phone. I don't know anything. I see pictures of her on social media, and it kills me because that's my daughter. That you're calling her your daughter, that's my daughter. Why did they take her from me? Because I ran out of time. Because I didn't get everything done in the time that they wanted it done. So they decided, well, she's gonna go through guardianship because you ain't doing this quick enough for us. So we got tore apart. She got tore away from her siblings. Now I'm kidless and broken every day trying to figure out how to fix this separation anxiety, this longing for something I can never have, I feel like. And it's gonna
Well,
cost me
let's not say
$50.
never because I'm praying for you, and I don't know about the system because I've never had to deal with it. But
I've been in it.
I would
I've been
pray
in it.
that if you show enough good to the world, that the world will show you good back. I hope
Money.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
It's
I'm
gonna
praying.
take
Remember what I
thousands.
said about speaking things
I
into
know.
existence. Don't make
But
that true.
it's kind of a
Even if
fact,
you're right.
though,
Even
that
if
in this
you're right.
generation, money is the only thing
Let's
that's gonna get
just
my I have to buy my child back. It's not fair. I have to buy my child back into my life where I can't ever. Thousands of dollars to hire a lawyer just to terminate something I had to agree to for no reason at all. It's not fair that I'm having to suffer, that she's having to not understand who her real mother is. I can't hear her call me mommy anymore. I haven't seen her, held her whole in my arms, watched her as a child. That is my last baby. That is the only child I'll ever get to hold and carry in my arms again. Will I get to do that? Probably not. Why? Because the woman that she's with doesn't give me the opportunity to be in her life. She has pushed me out and she is trying to be her mother now. My daughter calls her mom. my daughter probably doesn't even remember me. And I'm
Well,
so
go and
thankful.
make yourself so successful and so inspiring that your daughter comes and reaches out to you one day. That's where we're going to leave
I'm
it.
afraid.
I
I'm
am very, very, very happy we talked. And I hope that we can talk again soon.
we'll definitely have to follow each other.
Hopefully after some people watch this and get to know who you are, maybe they'll be looking
Mm.
forward to the next one. So
Other
have a
than the
lovely
people we've
night.
had, huh?
Thank you very much for talking, and send me all the links and stuff to your books so that I can get
Oh,
the
I
proper
will.
graphics and stuff on screen. And we've went for 75 minutes. That's great. So I
How
don't
can you
know if
not know
anyone
that's
will
something that
actually watch
important?
the whole thing, but if you were crazy enough to watch the whole thing, then you need help.
You're
Just
just
kidding.
like us.
Thank you so much. I love you
Join the
guys.
club. Thank you. Have a great
All right.
night.
Have a good one. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. How do I end it?